Hey guys, it's me, your overly enthusiastic YouTuber personality here, back again with another Suits to Devlog. Anyway, hey guys, how's it going? It's me. I thought about being a little bit more enthusiastic in these videos, but it's kind of hard to do that in, is it 10 in the morning? But, I'll try. So, what we have here today, folks, is, you know, a big step in Suits 2's development. You can moonwalk. Yeah. Oh, other than that, Will's finally finished making most of these buildings. I say most because the bank is still not finished. Actually, before I show you this building, I added some slope tile sets for the walls, in case we need these. Like, for example, obviously this bank is at an angle. This is an advanced feature of Suits 2. So let's, I'll show you a nice piece of the building here. Yep. Another thing you might notice right now, if you watched the other video, is that now the camera zoomed out more. Now, originally it was actually like this, actually a little bit more zoomed out. But quite frankly, we didn't really like it, so we zoomed it in. However, I realized zooming it in is still not good. Like, there's no way winning this, like, issue, except the fact they figured it out. So, right now we're in the district, the main district. Or, well, the stock exchange district. And we have a lot of these big buildings. We want you to see these things. So originally you can't even see what the name of this building was. The stock exchange. You could barely read these signs because of how zoomed in it was. So I thought, hey, how about we make it? I just saw this right before recording, but I was like, how about we make it so depending on which room it is, which level it is, it changes it to be the camera zooms will change. So things like the sign here, fancy hotel, which Will has made here. A nice little place we got. This is probably the most complete area. We got a nice little water fountain that has no water coming out because Will hasn't animated that. That's something he's going to be doing like last though, so be patient. So we got some rooms here. This is where a quest is going to happen. Oh, one thing, I don't know if I had this in the last video, but I made it so these trigger boxes here, these are the same things as the ones outside. So anything on the inside, usually I want to make it like, you touch it and you'll be taken back outside. While these, you want to interact with the door. So, the statue I talked about is here. Yeah, so this is advanced rendering. Here we got some advanced techniques going on where you can walk behind it. A lot of items, for example, these bushes you can't really walk behind. I could make it so you could walk behind it. It would probably be better if I did that. We got these palm trees, and the roads have been slightly revamped a bit. Nice little manhole cover there. I decided to make parking lots for the casino. Yep. If you don't remember, I probably mentioned, and I don't remember myself, but definitely we're having casinos in the launch. You can go inside. Oh, and notice now the camera's zoomed in more. Because on the interiors, it feels a lot better when it's zoomed in the interiors. It's a lot more personal, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I like it like this. This is a really good method, I guess. A compromise. So when you're on the main districts, you can see the buildings that Will has made, artistically made, yes. And on the inside, you can see, you know, all these little hills here. Obviously, this is still not finished. We've got a lot more to do. I don't really like the way this looks. But for now it works as a room. The idea is you'll come up to here, you you know, you'll interact with these slot machines, and it'll take you to a slot machine game. So if you know what Caesar's Palace for the Sega Genesis and SNES or Game Gear, which I own all three, that is how it's going to play. It's going to be similar to that. Now, personally, I never played actual slots, so I don't know how the system works, so I need to study that stuff, like always. So here's a building here that's also not finished. I think the only two buildings that are not finished were just the bank and taxpayer's office. So we have this clinic here, blood drive. This is going to be part of a side quest. But I thought it looks pretty nice. We could add some people here, you know, waiting to get their blood. Okay. Pretty big, spacious area, and we'll have to fill it with something. Another thing we discussed about is having more animated things, because you look at this world of suits and it's like everything's kind of static. We want some things to be, you know, moving. Unlike our other game, Game 19, still a work in progress. We have a lot of things that move on the screen. Like every time you, for the most part, if you just, no matter where you're on a map in a level, you'll see like something's moving. The character, some objects, they all are animated. This is the store, the little shop. So if you remember from Suits 1, the guy who had the little Caddyshack thing, I don't know, Caddyshack's probably not the right term. The little like chit shack that he sold his goods in. Yeah, he's now upgraded to this big, nice little like 7-Eleven-esque big buy. Yeah, you see, actually, if you look at the sign, it's got the little like shack thing. So we got these little barricades here because you can't go past these roads, just to indicate that. Oh, another thing is this bank. You can enter. There's two entrances. That's a very advanced technique that took me a while to figure out how to actually construct. Since the way these doors work is that there is the door, which is that blue block, and there's an invisible point, which should be like right here where I'm standing. And when you enter through a door, it will set what is the room that you want to go to. And the player has a variable that sets whatever the last room was. So then these points check what was the last room. So if you have 2 points in the same room that come from the same, that, you know, the room it checks for, the last room it checks for is the same room as well. So, for example, Stocksford, which is the name of this area. You go in here, and now it has 2 points that says, hey, wait, and when you spawn, we have to spawn on one of the 2 points. And it breaks. So what did I do? Well, the treasury has been removed because the treasury and the bank have become one. That's why this level is much bigger. So I used the old treasury room and I just modified it so it's just a black space. That's why if you notice, you might notice that some rooms will take a little longer to load. It's just barely any longer. I really, you know, it's the best compromise, and it's not something that's going to be super intrusive. Nobody would have noticed this if I didn't mention it, honestly. Some might have been like, it's just probably like loading if they are really that nitpicky about it. So right now, this week, I'm gonna try to finish up most of the quests in this area. Currently, this is a quest area. This box here is just a trigger that I just have here for debugging purposes. I'll just go start it. This is still a work in progress quest. It's still gonna have probably a lot of issues. But, you know, that's just part of the process. So, it's you gotta go to the taxpayers. Now, this is why it took me a while to actually get this right. So usually whenever we come up with quests, usually it's Gabe's job. He comes up with a quest. And we just kind of go over the quest. And I usually like this, usually a lot of times, we'll make a level, and Gabe will make a quest, and then I have to make sure that all works together. They usually come up with a level and then make it work together. But I decided to make a change to the level before I actually read what the quest was. So, for example, this secretary here, this guy here, he wasn't there before. I added him because I said, hey, why make these things two separate rooms? During the quest, you have to go into, you want to come inside this, like, the boss of this area. The CEO or boss of the tax office. You want to be like, hey, I'm just gonna go over to his office. And I was like, oh, can't. Oh, you see that? Let's do that again. Yeah, the character automatically walked away. That took me a long time to actually get right. So there was a lot of issues because a lot of the code on the character was not letting me do that. So I had to do some changes to his like movement a little bit more. Like it was just some variables that were being set to 0 and wouldn't play the animation when he walked. So yeah, bit by bit I got it working. You know, if you ever played like Earth or like Pokemon or something, it's like, oh, you just can't go past this area, and then it just kind of makes you walk back, and it's the most annoying thing ever. So I just had to put that in here because I don't want people constantly walking up to the trigger box and slowly inching their way to the office, which they would get nothing from it because CEO isn't even there. They could put him there because you're not going to be able to see him. Oh, what's this? It's yeah, looks like I'm gonna collect this tax. We still gotta have name boxes. Will's got to make that. It's pretty simple. It's just a little. If you've played Kitsune Kitchen, it's gonna be the same thing, honestly. Now, this is still a little work in progress, but because I forgot one thing to put back in here, which was the prompt boxes. Now, if you notice right now, the text is pink, and that's because I literally took this from Kitsune Kitchen like everything else in this game. And I didn't change the colors when it's highlighted. I made this little arrow thing too, just temporarily. This is not permanent. So you can intervene and watch. If I intervene, it'll just do a fight, which I'm gonna regret doing right now. It's gonna be the longest fight because it takes forever. I'm gonna put it to like 1 health. Could have like an insta win button thing, but honestly, it's easier just for me to set it to 1 health and not 1. This is a placeholder a placeholder enemy. Which, fun fact, that icon, it's being represented as the enemy. It was actually used for an old, early thing I was trying to do with AI and AI paths, but you know, I don't know anything like that. So it was supposed to be like a node where it kind of follows that node if it couldn't get through a wall, so. Yeah, he's supposed to be dead, but. Oh, yeah, it's broken again. Yeah. Nice. Oh, Lord. Oh, can I? Yeah, let me just F5 that. So, I fixed a few issues, and things like saving was kind of giving me a bit of an issue, so if I reload now, let's see. Yeah, there we go. I can load into yeah. So, some things I gotta remember is you gotta remember when you're working on games and savings that you always want to make sure all your variables for quests and things like that are all being saved and loaded. Otherwise, these quests will break if you try loading them. Right, so intervening is still not functional, but we can watch this time. And they just disappear. And now he's back to his office, and we can move around. So that's kind of where last thing I left off on yesterday. Now you might be asking, why does he fly? Well, honestly, I kind of want to make him walk away, but I feel like depending on where the player decides to stand, like if he like goes up to the trigger box, like wherever he stands, it's gonna be weird because he might because I was like, oh, he could just walk around the player, but that's like way too much to worry about. So I'm like, you know what? This is Suits. We'll make him fly. Everybody will love it. Nobody's gonna expect it except for the people who watch this video. And you know, eventually he'll be here in his office, and he's got a nice portrait of himself. I like the fact that we have that portrait. Very proud of it. So yeah, depending on whether you intervene or watch, it depends on the outcome is always going to change. So in effect, so if you just watch, pretty sure it's also going to affect something about the ending. So yeah, decisions. Oh yeah, it broke. It's not supposed to be doing this, but I think I forgot to set some variables too, certain variables to certain numbers, and now it's gonna repeat that. Anywho, that is all for Suits 2 this week. Or, well, last week, I guess, because this is what we did last week. And I hope, you guys enjoy. If you want, make suggestions in the comments, if you feel like something needs to be worked on, or something needs to change, just comment. We'll look at your opinion and we'll either tell you whether you're wrong or no, or this is how we want it to be. Don't yell at me, Mom. Stuff like that. We just, we appreciate any feedback. We have a Discord also. Oh, I should have mentioned that in the first video because that's what everybody's watching. We have a Discord. I'll put that linked in the description. We have a Twitter. I'll also put that in the description. And a Tumblr. But mostly, those are the 3 things to get in contact with us. Mostly Discord. I mean, we're on Discord like 24/7 pretty much. That's a lie. We're on like pretty much most of the day. And Twitter, we're somewhat active on Twitter. Gabe should be always like tweeting something out. Anywho, see you guys next week.